Hi, I'm Greg Gutfeld, now double ply for extra absorption. Here's what's coming up. The candidates are falling over themselves trying to do ordinary things. Tonight, why are they so damn bad at life? Aliens, not the illegal kind, the outer space kind. One candidate might get answers once they're in the White House. Tonight, did someone just win the Martian vote? And the endorsement game, 3 eligible candidates, 1 lucky lady, 1 very sad country. Who will she select? Where have you been, America? Are you avoiding me? Is there someone else? All right, let's welcome tonight's guest, shall we? He's a musical genius behind some of the greatest pop songs ever. But enough about Yanni. Instead, we have musician, composer, drummer for a band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Stuart Copeland of the Police. Come on. Yes. Well, he's so sharp, his very thoughts give you paper cuts. Camille Foster, Free Think Media executive producer. He hosts a podcast called The Fifth Column. She's like a Marine scalp, always buzzed. It's Joanne Nosachinski. Yeah, she's drunk right now. He's split more sides than a butcher on meth. You can see him on the MTV show Guy Code, MTV2 that is. It's comedian Andrew Schultz. And finally, her glasses are always half empty. She's a miserable lass. It's National Review reporter Catherine Timpf. Smile away. But first,
gets their own studio.
So I have no idea.
We all got a crowd in here.
Stuart, I got to do my monologue.
Yeah.
I love him. He's in the Police. They weren't the Knack, but they were the Police, okay? All right. Anyway, you're better than Sting. Now, when candidates act human, they're like pets walking on hind legs. They can pull it off for maybe 5 seconds, then they collapse. In the end, it's a bad idea. Hillary couldn't master a subway turnstile. That was the opposite of adroit. Now, a couple of weeks ago, John Kasich ate pizza with utensils. That's like eating soup with a chainsaw. So this week, he tried to make amends by eating everything at an Italian deli. A sandwich, 2 plates of spaghetti, soup, wine, a small orphan child. He really wants to win New York. He even tried to speak Italian.
I got some pasta fazool. You got to come look at it.
A poor man's Tony Soprano. All right. Then there was Ted Cruz awkwardly making matzah in Brighton Beach. And next week, maybe he'll hand slaughter a chicken in accordance with Islamic dietary law. Finally, little-known candidate Tommy Johnson couldn't ride a skateboard.
Oh, my God!
Where's that kid?
Yes. That's not the temperament for my president. So we've seen this before. John Kerry ordered a Philly cheesesteak and asked for the wrong cheese. George Bush tried to buy milk once and failed. President Obama threw a baseball like a roofied Raggedy Ann. Don't wave. I've seen better arms on a squid. So I've come up with some tips for candidates when asked to do something normal. First, never do something normal. I can't make pizza, so it was pretty embarrassing when Fox and Friends asked me to make one. I had a bad night before. Anyway, it tasted delicious. Number two, only do something you're really good at. If you can't throw a baseball, that's okay. You could be like me, massage a cat.
That's it.
No.
It's not like a regular thing between us, and it's pretty cute when we change places. Number 3, take your time. Never be in a hurry.
It's called cis-kill.
Just slow down, buddy. Summer will be here soon. The fact is, politicians have a hard time doing normal things because they aren't normal. They claim to be of the people, but they're about as human as this. Gotta love Donald. Look, it's our fault. Due to over-scrutiny and jaded cruelty, we've made these people into something inhuman. Cyborgs who must relearn how to be real. This is why I will never run for office. Not only am I real, but I lack the skills that one can put on display. Well, except for this one. This is me tending to my farm of chickens and goats.
Идешь куда? Ты в сарай пошел? А зачем тебе туда едь? Кур пошел смотреть? Ах, коз.
Yes. If that were a qualification for president, I would be a shoo-in.
Period.
All right. Come on. Hey, so Stuart, you see these candidates, they never do these things right. Why do we continue to force them to act like humans? I don't get it.
Well, but they're pretending to be humans so that they can represent humans.
Right.
And who wants that job of representing humans and being human, you know?
Yeah, that's
My
true.
job, you're not supposed to be human. Show me that pizza, and I will show you an artistic concept for how to eat it all wrong, which makes you revolutionary.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
You are exempt from common sense.
Absolutely. In fact, it is kind of a detriment to one's image to be
Yes.
sensible.
Artists live apart from the rest of the world.
Yes, true. We live kind of on a Mount Olympus where the air is a little fresher, the champagne has more fizz, the ice is a little colder.
There's champagne up there?
Yeah, totally. Well, okay, wait, well, actually, it's beer.
Yes. But if you said champagne, she would have come up to the mountain.
You would have been there, right?
Yes, exactly. Think about that next time, Stuart. Andrew, good to see you. Now, you often use the subway, usually as a latrine and a bed.
I have no clue what a latrine is.
Latrine is an old word for bathroom.
This is true. The only time I've been arrested is because I peed on the subway.
That's why you seem like someone who would do that.
Yeah, I did do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah.
We're off topic.
I know, my bad. Go.
Is it her fault that when she slid that thing through and it didn't go? That happens to everybody.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I'm a native New Yorker and I'm a one-swipe man. Okay?
Yeah.
I swipe it, I'm in. If I swipe and it doesn't go in, I leave. I didn't earn the subway that day. That's how it works.
Now, is this why you're for Sanders?
I would say I'm for Sanders because, let me think of something funny right now.
No good reason.
No good reason. I don't, no. You know why I'm for Sanders? Because everybody's afraid of Sanders. I like the one everybody's afraid of.
All right, well.
And nobody's afraid of Trump. I mean, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
Yes.
bother with
Really think? Are you guys really afraid of Trump? No. First of all, he would never be able to swipe a Metro card. Uber,
He could buy the Metro.
he would just...
And then he would blow it up.
Just ride on top of it?
Yes, exactly. No, he'd name it the Trump Metro, and then he would say it's fabulous, and then there would
we
be
get some gold
It's
glitter
great.
stuff.
It's gonna go
So much better.
And then there would be
so much on time.
Then there would be a fourth corporate bankruptcy, not his, but his company, and that's different. Camille, I must say that's different. Camille, we've got some interesting choices. What do you make of this current malaise?
I don't know. It sends a tremble down my spine. Why aren't they better prepared?
Yeah.
Why don't they know that this is going to happen? You know that when you sit down with the Daily News, they're going to ask you about the train or going to the grocery store, the price of milk. They don't know because, as you mentioned, they're not like us. The Clintons are about as close to royalty as we get in this country, complete with, well, I don't know if they're inbred, but maybe they're feeble in other physical ways. But these people don't know how to do normal things because they're not like us.
And the only person who could do things, a guy that could actually operate on the brains of babies, we had to laugh out of the campaign. Ben Carson actually knew how to do stuff.
Politically inept.
Yeah, politically inept. Yeah. Maybe we should have political ineptitude as a qualification, Joanne.
No. My qualifications are how many bowls of pasta do you eat? And I am now all about Kasich. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I could not turn away.
We don't want to watch normal people. Like, I don't watch LeBron because I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see him do exceptional stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe they should just do exceptional stuff. Hop over the turnstile.
Exactly. You know, Kat,
If she jumped over that turnstile in that
would
long
win in a
pantsuit that she's wearing without busting a seam, you got my vote.
But okay, that brings me to my point, Kat. Shouldn't they create a sound stage for politicians where they can practice these things, where they can have a subway turnstile, a place to buy milk, so they can practice for like 6 months?
Hunger Games.
Yes.
Well, you know, actually, Hillary did have that opportunity.
It's my turn.
Sorry.
Where is she?
She's over there.
I spend so much time alone. When I'm at work, I'm alone. I'm all the way over here. I just want someone to listen to my opinions about Hillary on the subway. No,
Well, then,
I don't know.
go ahead.
They should definitely practice. But didn't it take 2 weeks? Her campaign prepared for 2 weeks for this?
Yeah,
and
they did.
Didn't get the use the card part. Like, what were they doing? Like, for 2 weeks, was she like practicing her facial expressions, or like, you know, like of the people facial expressions? Like, what was she doing? They definitely should. But I do have some sympathy. It's got to be hard, you know. Everyone expects you to like be in good shape, but then you also have to eat all the local dairy, and that's hard.
That's true. You gain a lot of weight. Or you can purge afterwards, which is what I do. That's how I'm felt. Can we talk about Ted
Twitter's
Cruz
gonna
and
love
this?
that
He's still
one.
defending it.
Can I just say one thing? Was that you really massaging the cat? Because you have a great chest.
Oh, thank you very much. I go to Equinox. I work out every day.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and the cat too. I do I bench press the cats in this order. All right, Ted Cruz still defending his new New York values comments. Here's the Texas senator speaking to my squash partner, Bill O'Reilly.
I think people across New York and across the country knew exactly what New York values means, and those are the values of liberal Democratic politicians who have been hammering this state. You know, I've been campaigning across New York, and people are stopping me literally every day and say, I know exactly what you meant, and I'm fed up with what these liberal Democrats are doing to us, the people of New York. They're the ones suffering for it. And as you noted, Donald Trump has been funding it year after year after year.
You know what I don't understand? Why does Cruz care? The homeless flasher on my block has a better chance of winning New York than he does, and that's Keith Olbermann. It's like he knows he's going to lose. Why is he trying to defend? He should not even come to New York, right?
Wasn't that amazing that we've gotten to this place where Ted Cruz is the sane one?
Yeah.
And we're all thinking, oh, hopefully Ted Cruz. And a lot of people, like Lindsey Graham, suddenly, out of nowhere, he's like not insane. I mean,
yeah.
compared to what's going on.
Yeah, this is a strange time for everybody, I believe. We've shifted the goalpost, to use a sporting metaphor, Andrew.
We've moved the goalpost.
Well, I think he's right. New York values are different. Like, we're different. I grew up here in New York. I honestly, until I left New York, I didn't even know there were animals.
Yeah. You've never been to a Chick-fil-A.
I promise you, I had no clue. I thought it went rat, pigeon, zoo. I had no clue. And I went to Long Island. I was 14 years old. I went to Long Island, and I saw a deer, and I like alerted people. I was like, guys, there's a really big dog. Yeah, there's an animal out there.
Things growing out his
horns. He should be on a cabin wall.
It was frightening. You thought you were being invaded.
Yeah. It's like you've seen deer before, but never with like 4 legs stuck on it.
Yeah, not with fences near it, you know?
Thing's mobile.
No, I didn't know that.
Camille, what kills me is that there are people in the media that are more upset about what Cruz has said about New York than what he said about certain women or John McCain. Like, this is some kind of more offensive.
Well, this is where they live.
Yes.
And I've called this place home for almost 5 years now. So I sort of take offense at it as well, only a little bit. But I don't know why Ted Cruz's wife, who has at least worked for a New York-based investment banking firm, doesn't take issue with this as well. Or maybe she does.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's who he's talking about. I'm not sure.
Well, as soon as he comes off the stage, honey.
Yeah, so why'd you have to do that? Kat, what do you make of Cruz these days? Do you still see him as you will never vote for him, or is he looking better and better?
I won't vote for him.
No?
But he's looking great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking he's looking better and better every time I see him. That's absolutely true.
All right, well, that's important.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? Thoughts on Cruz? Thoughts on Trump? Thoughts on anything?
As a New Yorker, I don't forgive and I don't forget. So Ted Cruz is out.
Yeah.
Cruz is screwed. He will. I just love the fact that even Kasich is beating Cruz in New York, and that brings me such joy because I think it brings Kasich joy, and he'll probably celebrate with some more pasta.
The thing that makes Trump good is the thing that makes him bad, which is the obstinance, the stubbornness, the bluntness, which is essentially New York. But his unfavorables with women are frightening. They got to start thinking about November because he is less popular among women than their best friend's boyfriend.
and yet, all kinds of high-class women, you know, journalists and editorial writers and so on, who've met him socially, they all say, you know, Gail Collins, who's that, Maureen Dowd, you know, they all say what a actually great guy he is. He's actually room with women. He's very courtly.
He's very charming.
Charm. He calls all the women honey.
It's okay. You know. Before I go, that's a really good point. It's not about Trump is actually pretty charming, but it's the people that he surrounds himself with. I mean, we're going back to the Roy Cohn days, now to the current crop. He hires what's called vicious people, people that will do his dirty work. And I think that's what's scary, because you have to ask your question, what would this person do if he had more power?
Does anyone have a theory of his hair? Is it like parted here, and then it goes there, and then part of it goes, this pit here, which direction is that going? If we could just have somebody figure out his hair, then let's work on his
That's where the secret is.
I've got you.
What?
Lasagna.
It's lasagna.
It's lasagna. You're eating lasagna, you push the fork into it, and all of a sudden the bottom piece is on the top, the middle piece is on the bottom.
And then you get a piece of hair, and you're like, this is weird.
Boom, lasagna. Kasich ate his hair. He didn't even eat Italian food.
Really.
All right, we got to move on. Don't you move a muscle. Up next, a story so powerful it could bench press your face. Can Hillary Clinton finally tell us the truth about space aliens? It could explain her Star Trek wardrobe. Look at that. Yeah. Could Hillary be undone over Area 51? Her campaign is going after aliens, and not the ones from Mexico. For Hillary, it's all about outer space. Yes, thanks to Hill's campaign chair, John Podesta, the remote military facility and center of UFO conspiracy theories is being brought to the forefront. Podesta talked to CNN's great Jake Tapper about Area 51 and how a President Clinton would ask for important declassified information to be released to the public. That's right. Hillary is finally going to release these crucial documents. Here's Podesta.
What I've talked to the secretary about, and what she said now in public, is that if she's elected president and she gets into office, she'll ask for as many records as the United States federal government has to be declassified. And I think that's a commitment that she intends to keep, and that I intend to hold her to. You know, the American people can handle the truth, so they should just do a thorough search.
What is the truth?
And open it up.
Is there evidence of alien life?
You know, that's for the public to judge once they've seen all the evidence that the U.S. government has.
What do you think personally?
What do I think? I think there's a lot of planets out there.
Doesn't seem odd at all, does he? Now, after hearing that the Hillary campaign is seeking answers about UFOs, Donald Trump announced he would build a wall around Romulus and make the Romulans pay for it. Good for him. A little Star Trek.
Well, you know, it's classic with Hillary. It's classic bait and switch. I mean, they're after her emails. Oh my God! Hey, look, Martians. Yeah, release that.
That is so true. That's what this is about. It's a deflection. She's going as far as you can go.
Well, wait a minute. She needs that because we've seen her emails.
Yes.
She's been subpoenaed for 20 years. The Clintons, both of them, have been up against the Senate. If you're a friend or associate or of the Clintons, you need to lawyer up.
Yeah.
We've seen every aspect of their life.
The interview,
vetted.
Oh, the emails between me and her got pretty hot.
Yeah.
Kat, how can we think of there being intelligent life on other planets if they haven't even contacted us? Could it be that they just don't like us? That would hurt my feelings.
I don't really like us. You know, I get it. I don't care if they're aliens or not. Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that okay that I just don't care? Yeah. There's already so many people out there in this world that I certainly don't care about. How am I supposed to care about aliens now?
I don't know.
Maybe they're there, maybe they're not, but they should talk to us first, or else we give up our power. You know how, like, you ignore someone's text message for like 3 minutes to establish dominance?
Yeah, but maybe 13 billion years to aliens is 6 seconds. So they're not ignoring us. It's just a different time scale.
Are you spending too much time thinking about someone who's not thinking about you?
Yeah, I think it's a microaggression against aliens.
Greg, do not make someone a priority when you're merely an option. Saw that on Instagram.
I never thought about that before. It hurt my feelings, Camille. I have a hypothesis, Camille. We eat cattle, we eat fish, we eat plants. What do they have in common? They are earthlings. So what would make an alien exempt from our appetite? Let's say we meet these aliens, right? They're adorable, they're benevolent, they're highly intelligent, but they look like delicious Cinnabons.
Yeah, I think you would have to take a bite out of them.
We'd have to eat them.
Unfortunately, Greg, I don't think there's anyone out there, and if the government knew about it, how could they possibly keep this secret? Hillary Clinton's husband would have loved to keep one particular secret.
Yes, that's true.
He had an intern.
Yes.
Who he really, really liked a lot.
Yeah.
Could not keep that secret.
That's true.
How did they know about the aliens?
We can't keep secrets, Joe, can we?
No, I certainly can't.
Yes, exactly.
That's for sure. But the thing is, we won't even know if it's true. Why would you trust Hillary Clinton to declassify all of this stuff and show it to you and tell you this is what's really there? Like, what makes her suddenly a truthful person? I think that everyone, there's something to gain. The government knows something. They do. I don't know. Maybe they know climate change isn't real. And these aliens are proof. So we have to keep them locked up. I don't know. There's so many options.
There is. And that fella, Podesta, seems like a guy who sits next to you on the bus and starts talking to you about chemtrails.
And he plays crazy a little too well for a guy who's been a top-flight advisor to 2 presidents.
Yeah,
that is disconcerting.
It's very frightening.
He's weird, that guy.
Oh, is it, Andrew? Is it weird?
I think he's weird.
Do you think he's weird?
I think he's weird.
Why do you think he's weird, Mr. dressing in like Johnny Cash's Leftovers?
You like that?
Yes.
But it says my name in the script.
Yes.
Okay. I think he's weird because his face is longer than his neck.
That's an interesting.
Like he's got a very
Your face is longer than your neck.
I'm a weird person, Stu.
That's true. That's your job.
Come on, man.
Okay.
We're out here. But I think
giving you the nuclear codes.
No. You don't want to give me any information unless you would like to.
Just back over on that side and
No. In all seriousness, though, the alien thing. I just want to know, one, why do aliens only come to America? And 2, why do they only go to the places in America that none of us want to go?
Who said that? Okay, this is because in big cities you can't see aliens because of all the lights. But if you go to like an area where there's a rural area, you can see the aliens more clearly because there are less buildings.
So they can travel beyond the speed of light, but they don't have lights bright enough for us to see them.
Yeah.
Are you saying that in New York City, aliens don't stand out in a crowd?
That's true. Exactly.
The only time you can spot an alien is if there aren't all these people distracting.
That's true.
Imagine you were going to travel millions of light years to go somewhere. Wouldn't you do research as to which city had the good parties?
Yeah. That's true.
Miami, maybe. I wouldn't go to Montana, no offense, but I wouldn't go there.
That's where they went. They went to Power Nevada.
They're going to Nevada, stop!
Nevada.
So Earth needs a concierge. Earth needs an alien concierge.
Aliens need a concierge. They need a travel service.
They need a travel service. That's right.
Because it's too much time, Greg. I'm not going to Prague.
No.
Too much time, okay? It's too far.
All right. We've gone too far. Still to come, a 6-hour segment on starfish. I hope you brought water, studio audience, because the doors are locked and there's no escape. But first, Bill Clinton blows his top on a protester. Glad I said top. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. This just in, Kasich is still eating. Good for him, I say. All right. It's what Bill Clinton does best, unloading on people. On Thursday, he unloaded on some Black Lives Matter protesters at a campaign event in Philadelphia, a.k.a. the Windy City. See? They heckled Clinton for a 1994 bill he signed into law that increased sentences for gang-related offenses. One protester yelled, "Black youth are not super predators," a reference to a statement Hillary once made as First Lady. Bill fired back.
This is what's the matter. I don't know how you would characterize the gang leaders who got 13-year-old kids hopped up on crack and sent them out onto the street to murder other African-American children. Maybe you thought they were good citizens. She didn't. She didn't. You are defending the people who kill the lives you say matter. Tell the truth.
And it wasn't the only highlight of the night. Earlier in the event, Clinton took a sly shot at President Obama's handling of world affairs.
Unlike when I became president, a lot of things are coming apart around the world now. We'd like to just think about our economic issues, but you got to worry about a collapse in Europe dragging back the American economy. You've got to worry about all these, the largest number of refugees since World War II. And all this stuff comes home.
Afterwards, Mr. Clinton took his mind off political matters by having sex with a carburetor. Camille, I say kudos to Bill, and I never say kudos to anyone. I think he spoke truth to obnoxiousness.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, the crime bill was a miserable failure and a mistake.
I disagree, but go ahead.
But the Black Lives Matter kids are making stuff up when they say that Hillary called black people super predators. She said that people who are perpetrating violent crimes are super predators. The only racists are them for presuming that she was talking about black folks. So that's yeah.
Good point. I do disagree. I do believe, though, that the Anti-Violent Act of 1994 did contribute to reducing homicide rates by basically truth in sentencing laws. That's all it was. 85%. You had to serve 85% of your sentence, and they also put out 100,000 new cops. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I think the stepping up the drug war is problematic.
I agree.
because of the cycle of violence, and I think that particular legislation was a response to the crack epidemic, which wasn't a real thing.
I agree with you on that.
That's good.
Yeah, but crack was a real thing. Trust me. I don't remember 91 to 93, Stuart.
Well, you know, this whole thing, it's all about the police relationship with minorities.
Right.
And I'm watching this, I think, wait a minute, I've never seen that. For 20 years, I could not get a driving ticket because, you know, I get pulled over, I'm doing 90 miles an hour on Sunset Boulevard, and they pull, Mr. Copeland, I can't give you a ticket. And that went on for a long time. I'm in a band called The Police, you know. They're not going to arrest me. And so my interaction with cops has always been really great. Until after 20 years of this, finally I get one cop, an African-American, who did not hear Roxanne, I guess. And I got my first...
Even from Eddie Murphy.
He was absolutely calm, efficient, respectful, and gave me a ticket.
Yeah, dare he? Yeah. That's racist. By the way, if I start a band, I'm going to call it the Hookers.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
All right, Andrew.
Yes.
Thoughts? Prayers?
On what?
Anything you want.
Bill Clinton is a Jedi, man. This guy, I mean, look, a lot of protesters. The protesters have been dealing with stormtroopers, basically, right now. All the candidates right now are stormtroopers, and Clinton is a Jedi. You cannot come at him unless you've had some Jedi training. And this man just took the lightsaber out and lit him up.
Yeah.
Her too, by the way.
But then, Joe, he kind of apologized the next day, like he felt bad. What did you make of his performance overall, on stage?
I find the Clintons really, I sympathize with them, honestly, when they're approached by Black Lives Matter protesters, because they really want to listen and they really want to help, and they hardly get to speak. I mean, in the whole transcript of his speech, he could hardly get words out. He's like, you're just going to keep talking, you're not going to listen to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's not a conversation. It's not a dialogue. It's just angry people yelling. And I think the Clintons really do want to listen, and they can.
Andrew, let me get Kat in.
Yeah.
You've had your time disrespecting America. Kat, you're the expert here. People say the language was insensitive. Was it?
I guess, but who cares if it was insensitive or not? He sounded sick.
Yeah, he does sound...
Did anyone else notice that he sounded very, very sick?
He sounded tired.
He sounded tired. I just feel like the crime bill, I agree with Camille, was bad. And they were very prison happy in the 90s. And it's very, very hypocritical of Hillary to come out and saying, there's too many people in the prison. Yeah, lady, you helped put them there. So I understand their point, but at the same time, these protesters are...
Do you know who put those people in prison, Kat? Black community leaders who wanted that bill. Black community leaders.
That's what I'm saying.
Call them at home. Okay. Roger Stone would want you to do that.
Okay, you just call them at what?
I don't know what I'm saying.
I'm just saying people shouldn't be sent to prison for doing drugs.
I agree.
Okay, so I've never been arrested, and I've never had that experience, and now I'm like too old for it to be cute, so.
All right, okay. Don't know what that means, so we'll take a break. Coming up, my lunch. Should have had that second burrito. But first, Joanne helps Catherine decide who to vote for in the New York primary. It's the fake game show that won't teach us anything. Stick around.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
Live from the Fox News stations in New York City, it's the Endorsement Game. Here's the star of the show and your host, Joanne Nosachinski.
Thank you. And welcome once again to the Endorsement Game. It's time to meet our first 3 eligible candidates for this week's registered voter. And here they are. Candidate number 1 comes from Ohio, and that's pretty much all we know about him. Although we're pretty sure he has a background in karate. It's the man everyone's surprised is still here, John Kasich. And candidate number 2 is famous for his impersonations from movies no one cares about. He's never been water skiing, skydiving, or snorkeling. It's the senator that many people hate, Ted Cruz. And candidate number 3 needs no introduction, but wrote a lengthy one for himself. He's great, he's the best, the biggest, the smartest, the fastest, the richest, the most handsome and humble. It's steak purveyor Donald Trump. And time now to meet our registered voter for tonight's game. She hails from Detroit, Michigan, and loves Parmesan cheese, feminism, and her cat. Meet the apathetic Catherine Timpf. Welcome, Kat. How are you feeling?
Great. Very, very excited.
All right. Okay, so go ahead and ask any questions you have except name, age, hand size, shoe size, and policy plans. Good luck.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Candidate number 1. I get overwhelmed easily, especially when I have too many choices in front of me. So why should I pick you?
Look, that's like saying, what if a spaceman lands tonight? I mean, it's not going to happen.
Dude, how do you know I'm not going to pick you? Love yourself. Candidate number 2. Jeez, like most millennials, I'm on the internet pretty much all day, every day, whether it's at work or on my phone. So what's your favorite website and why?
TedCruz.org. TedCruz.org. It's a grassroots movement with over 200,000 volunteers.
Okay, I have to interrupt. This isn't about you plugging your website, candidate number 2, and you're not supposed to identify yourself. Remember, Kat can't see you. Okay, moving on. Kat, go ahead.
Sure. All right, candidate number 3. I recently let a guy take me on a date to see Batman versus Superman, and I hated it, but he loved it. So please settle this debate for us. Was Batman versus Superman a good movie?
It was a massive, massive, horrible mistake. That's for sure.
Nice, yes. I'm glad we agree on that one. All right, back to candidate number 1. I love baseball, but I also love to gamble. As president, would you lift baseball's ban on Pete Rose so he can finally get elected to the Hall of Fame?
Pete Rose, come on.
All right, I guess that's a no. Fine, moving on then. Candidate number 2. All right, I live in New York City where there's so much stuff to do that it can seem overwhelming. So where would we go on our first date?
TedCruz.org. TedCruz.org.
Damn it, Ted, again with the website? God, you're ruining this. This is why no one in the Bronx likes you. Kat, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Okay. Candidate number 3. I'm afraid of a lot of things. Snakes, spiders, commitment. So what would you say is your biggest fear?
China and, frankly, Vietnam now, Japan and India and Mexico.
Wow, it's a lot of countries to be afraid of.
Yeah, that's... Oh, Kat, that sound means it's time for you to make up your mind. Who is going to win your endorsement? We have candidate number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Like I have to pick one?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah, that's the point of the game.
There's no one else for me to choose from?
No, just these 3, although they were selected from a very large pool of options.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow, we've run out of time today. Join us tomorrow to find out which candidate gets Kat's enthusiastic endorsement. Stay tuned. Greg Gutfeld's show is up next.
In this very divided country where the disagreements have turned vicious, you have to ask yourself, what's it going to take to unify this country? My friends, the answer came yesterday when over 800,000 people came together in peace and harmony for a full 45 minutes to witness this. Innocent watermelon. That's all it takes. Everyone loves exploding watermelon. Gallagher, I hope you're listening because you started this. Okay, this is interesting, Stuart. Have you ever thought of adding watermelons, exploding watermelons to your symphonies?
Well, no, they don't explode very far.
Yeah.
And they're much more useful for sound effects. You know, in a movie, when you have a cudgel going through the guy's head, that's what watermelons are really for. The sound of a watermelon splurch is just perfect for what you imagine an axe going through a head.
And you know, when I do,
you roll on the bass,
right?
And you got some pretty hostile stuff.
When I did my documentary on splitting watermelons, I actually split human skulls on the sound effects.
To make it.
It's interesting, the symbiotic relationship, Andrew.
Yes.
There's some really hungry kid in some country somewhere watching this and going, I could have eaten that.
You know what? And it wouldn't have helped with his hunger.
Why?
Because watermelon does nothing. I never have eaten watermelon and be like, oh, I'm full. Don't give me the burgers or whatever it is. I'm pissed off at the suits.
Yeah.
What did they think was going to happen with that watermelon?
That's the best
that
part.
They needed a meth cooking outfit to what? What? It's just a little. Put a sweatshirt you don't like on. You know, bees aren't going to come out of it. What's happening?
Yeah, and the one who's dancing there, like all prancing around dancing, that kind of takes the jeopardy right out of it.
You're not a Teletubby.
Yeah, I'm not scared.
Ridiculous.
Are you scared?
I hate them both.
Well, you know what? There's a reason to hate them, Camille. This was BuzzFeed, so this is the new way of media, right? They just beat the numbers of most TV shows. I hate them.
But this is kind of important. I mean, they MacGyvered the hell out of that watermelon. Who knew that you could blow up a watermelon with rubber bands? I completely expected the rubber bands to fly off and hit them in the face, which is why you wear the suit.
How did it work?
The suit protects you from the
Oh,
water.
the suit protects you from the rubber bands.
The rubber bands.
So it was this rubber bands that did that?
Yeah.
I didn't read the story.
It's incredible. Well,
What do you think it was?
Unless that watermelon is filled with vodka, I do not care. Think of the amount of planning, the ingenuity, everything that went into this, and all of that energy could have been spent on solving any of the world's problems.
But this is BuzzFeed. They make listicles. They don't solve problems.
I love a good listicle.
I do.
To be honest.
Kat, did this make you happy, sad, indifferent, or are you going to say, I don't care?
No, well, of course. Well, here's the thing. 800,000 people watch this, which is why I never leave my apartment. That is so depressing. I don't want to go out and people are like, hey, did you see the watermelon thing? No, I was working and contributing to the economy. You should try it.
Wow. Well, on that note...
Who wants 45 minutes to watch a watermelon do something? Come on, man. We can do better.
Yeah, we could. As a country, maybe a mango or a coconut.
Stop.
That would be fun. Okay. Don't go anywhere. We got parting gifts up next. Some lucky audience member is going to win something with no street value whatsoever. All right, it's my favorite part of the show. It's when I give away parting gifts. It's my favorite part of the show. I just said that. Okay. What's your name?
Brad.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good.
You work out?
Yes, I do.
You know, I have a homemade gym.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Basically, I just use body weight. Anyway, I might only give away one gift today because this is a very important gift. I want to tell you a little backstory about this. I think this was my third book, I'm pretty sure. Came out about 5 or 6 years ago. Was very excited about it. And they sent me a box of these books before it came out. The editor was very, very happy, and it came to my my office. So as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it. It's great. Governor Huckabee is walking by because his office was down from mine, and he goes, "Hey, Greg, how you doing?" And I go, "Hey, Governor, hey, I got a book for you." And I give him my book, and he's looking at it. He goes, "This is great, Greg. Congratulations. You must be really proud." I go, "I'm so happy." I'm looking at the cover, and I'm about to call my editor, and he goes, "Greg, how do you spell your last name?" And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, do you have an I? Do you have an I in your last name? Is it Gutfeld?" And I go, "Give me that book." And I look at it. They spelled my name wrong on the book. They spelled my name on the book. This is amazing, okay? So this was the first run. I don't know how much they printed out this 20,000 books, but they had to kill it. They had to pull all the covers off. So there's only a few of these books around. So this is what's called the collector's item. The worst part about this story is that Governor Huckabee took great pleasure in telling me this when I looked at it. And Governor's a very religious person, and he heard the F word, followed by other words, more than he had in his entire life. And I was screaming down the hall, screaming and screaming and screaming, and the governor was just like looking at me like I was insane, and he clearly exited out of fire escape. You won the book. I will sign it. Yeah. Your name's Brad, right? All right. All right. Thanks to Stuart Copeland. Always a pleasure seeing you. Camille Foster, Andrew Schultz, Joanne, Catherine. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I love you, America.